for 60 Board of Directors. We'll begin with a roll call. Director Bill Freibel is not in attendance today. He had a conflict. Director Bob Lux is here. Director Donna McAleer.
Here.
Director Paul Shue.
Here.
Director Dale Walker.
Here, thank you.
Good. We have a quorum. We will begin with the invocation and the pledges of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we come to you today as an assembled body. We humbly request that you bless our meeting, our community, and our nation. Help us to work diligently, always for the common good and in the best interest of those who we have been elected to represent. Guide us to be insightful and prudent in our intentions, visions, plans, deliberations, decisions, and their fulfillment. Work through us to provide a spirit of welcome to all in attendance, to engage in respectful and thoughtful dialogue and discussion with understanding, wisdom, and humility. Amen. If you wish, prior to reciting the pledges, please take an additional moment of silent prayer or reflection in the manner of your preference. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pledge to the Texas flag.
Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Shelley, do we have any comments from the public? Thank you. Deputy General Manager Wright, do we have any requests for adjustments to or relief from specific charges imposed by the district? Thank you. Brings us to the consent agenda. Items 5 through 10, pages 1 through 19 in our meeting packet. Getting there, Jeannie, with the 98.12. You're working on it. I know you are. We'll be successful too. Anyone have any questions, comments regarding the consent agenda?
Going to discuss the number 9.
We can, if you'd like, certainly. Pages 18 and 19. Yes, ma'am. What is your question about 18?
Is this
and 19?
typical for the other MUDs on?
Yes, this is a
Okay.
standard item.
Every year you have to do a penalty of interest on business personal property, and you do that in March or February for it to go to the attorneys on April the 1st. This is now on your real property to add the 20% attorney fees that goes into effect July the 1st. We have to go through this every year. Yeah, on the taxes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none, request a motion to accept. I'll make the motion to accept.
I'll second.
And we have a second. We have a motion and a second. Further discussion on this matter? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Thank you. Brings us to the regular agenda item number 11, Mr. Meeks or Mr. Shackelford? Mr. Meeks.
All right, I'll take it. So our Woodlands and GRP monthly operations reports are on page 20 to 55 in your packet. Nothing out of the ordinary to cover. Also on page 66, starting on page 66 is your Bear Branch report talking about the dam and stuff they've done there, along with the other projects they're working on with the dam, related to the dam. So we do have a couple of additional items that we wanted to cover. I'll take one of them, then Ed will take the rest of them.
Leave, not to be a mind reader, but is that moving into agenda items 12 and 13?
Two of them are, we could hold these items until then, but Ed does have two other items.
Whichever is most convenient for you. We might as well do them in order.
Okay, not a problem. Then I'm gonna pass over to Ed to cover a couple items.
So you're done with agenda item 11, Chris, unless there's a question or.
Correct. Good afternoon.
Anybody else have any questions for Chris? Bill, no? Donna?
Well, but just about the refurbishment of the wells,
Yes.
is that going to be addressed later? There was what, 4 or 5 wells that are being worked over, right?
There are, I believe there's two right now.
And then there's one scheduled to be worked on pretty soon, right?
Right. Three, actually, I believe. I'd have to double check.
Because there was one, I think, that you had here. I noticed you're gonna deepen it and clean it out. It was on page. For the life of me, I should have had it.
Not a problem.
Sticky. It's obvious you have enough spare capacity if you have 3 or 4 wells that are needing remediation, right?
We do. We have, I think, 4 down at this point in time, 3 and 13 on page 35 are currently being
Yes, thank you.
out for bid.
That's what I was gonna ask. So you bid that out to people to pull the string and do the refurbishment and all,
You got it.
and then jet it out. It's the same company that from start to finish.
It is.
Okay.
Any subcontract that work that they need, they're responsible for. So
And this company, will they continue on through all the remediation on the existing wells that are down, or do you bid out each one individually, or?
So it's based on the project. So in this project, it'll be these 2 wells, same company, these 2 wells.
Gotcha.
Next year, we're gonna have 3 wells that need to be rehabbed, different company, but they're gonna do all 3 of them.
Okay.
Now, we do have the option to split if we have 2 wells to say, okay, this company is gonna do this one's gonna do this one.
Yeah.
That gets confusing and usually costs a little bit more.
That's what I was wondering. And then the volumes. Was it the pumps, or was it just silting up? Probably both.
With
The ones that
well,
when they went down.
do you remember, Jason, why well 3 and 13 went down? I know.
3 went down due to mechanical, both of them are mechanical issues.
Okay.
The reason I ask that is sometimes when you silt up, then it starts pulling on the motor really hard. And then they can burn out, or they can create problems. So
I don't think we've had any silting in issues that I can recall.
No silting issues.
Yeah.
But during the rehab, the gravel pack and everything will be scrubbed and
cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty impressive that with this number of wells down, you're not having any problem with making the volumes at all. So
Surface water definitely helps.
yes, but this will give you, as we're going into the summer with the dry spell, you got spare capacity.
There is some, and also we'll talk more about that next month in the project plan when we present that, but that is an evaluation we're going to do is how many wells do we need going forward versus how many we have today? Because today we have 37 and we've capped 3 over time.
And are they just geographically, are they further to the north?
The ones that we've capped,
Yeah.
they're all down here. The oldest part of the Woodlands, older wells,
Okay.
right? But now we're proposing to put newer wells in the upper region because water flows downhill
Correct.
in theory.
Thank you.
Not a
Appreciate it.
problem.
Hydraulic.
Right.
I do have a question before you, but you could be the guy to answer it.
Fire away.
Page 54, in light of the agreements that have been reached between SJRA and others, why do we still have 6 million total past due receivables, 60 days plus?
City of Magnolia.
Three asterisks, real tiny.
Yeah,
If you didn't really want to see it. you wouldn't.
City of Magnolia is still short paying.
So that's a totally separate agreement?
Yes.
Oh.
And they, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it. They chose not to settle when Conroe did. They're still wanting to, one, fight the contract and fight the rate.
Look with that, boys.
Mhm.
Okay, you've answered the question. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So
That
Turns
takes
out-
care of agenda item 11. I believe we're going to agenda item 12.
yes, and my items can all be covered under item 12.
Okay.
So the first thing in your packet is part of item 12 on page 65. Several people during the trustees meetings and other MUD meetings last month asked for a schedule of when the tier 1 projects might move forward and also when funding might be needed. And so this document kind of gives you an idea of the timing of how it would progress. Now, we were originally hoping to have the supplemental agreement approved in April. We've also heard over time that some of the directors said we probably ought to wait till after the election. So this schedule is based on waiting till after the election and then moving forward. So you can see that it's going to take a little while to move through everything associated with tier 1 water line projects, and also to get funding in place, get supplemental agreement in place, and then get engineering started on Woodlands Parkway water line project, and also complete the engineering on the town center water line project. So any questions about the schedule that's in your packet? In addition to asking for a schedule, there was also a question raised about why the HDR numbers, cost estimates are so much lower or different than our cost estimates, the SRA cost estimates. So hopefully you picked up a copy of this email that was here on the stack. It's dated April 14th at 9:33 a.m.
Where is
Yes,
it?
sir.
Was it there? Has it been printed under the bear stuff?
No.
You get this?
Thank you.
I didn't get, did you get this?
Yeah, I believe it's second page here.
Okay.
14th? What about you, Paul? You got it? You got it?
These.
Well, I have plenty. So the question was raised, and I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm just going to let you all take this and read it. And then if you have questions, come back to us. But the question was raised, why is there a difference? And this walks you through because there was kind of a request for a step-by-step guide. And so this is your step-by-step guide as to why there's a slight difference between the costs HDR presented in their report that had 2025 numbers and the cost estimates, preliminary cost estimates we prepared, because we're looking out into the future, adding inflation, adding contingencies, and some other things to those numbers for the appropriate time when those projects are anticipated to move forward. And so if you'll just take a look at this, Eric has an electronic copy that can be added to the Google Drive at some point. And then we'll go from there. We also had some questions about how does SRA go about identifying a project and when certain things would occur. And that is this memo dated April 13th. Do y'all have it? Okay. Y'all aren't stopping by and picking up all the
No, very,
requisite reading?
like to read them in
Gotta get
advance.
both.
and That's what we really.
You did good.
Gold star.
I believe y'all already have this. So we'll spend a little time talking about how projects, the types of projects that would fall under a concept. At the very beginning, a lot of it is being based on condition assessment. And then from condition assessment, it goes to preliminary engineering. From preliminary engineering, it goes to final design. And then from final design, it goes to bidding and then construction. And so towards the back, and I'm not going to go over every page, we walk you through the majority of the steps that we do in each phase so that you can see what all is involved. And if you'll take this and read it, and if you have questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Meanwhile, if you have questions just overall, I think your attorney is going to talk to you about supplemental agreement. Any questions for me?
The conclusion of agenda item 12.
No, unless you want to talk about the supplemental agreement that's in your board packet.
The supplemental agreement is just going to have some of the markups from the front end discussion.
No change from what we had last month.
Yeah, I think I don't know what was in the last month, but the only thing I saw was that you moved one of the projects from under tier 1 to tier 2.
Mhm.
But aside from lines.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item 13, is that Chris or is that Ed?
It's Chris.
It'd be me.
He volunteered. I accepted.
Not a problem. So see if history plays anything here. Did y'all pick up this prior to the meeting?
No.
Yes.
There you go. You got one.
Thank you.
All right, so at the trustees meeting, a recommendation was presented by the River Authority on wastewater plant 1. Since that meeting, we've had additional conversations and we have a revised recommendation. And that's what you have in your hand now, this one-page summary. What this revised recommendation is requesting, and what we're going to request is that the trustees in May vote on this, is the numbered items at the bottom. So this is in relation to wastewater plant 1, and what we're asking for is item number 1 is to stop the study on the 4 comparisons for wastewater plant 1. 4 comparisons being a new MBR facility, a new wastewater plant, conventional wastewater plant, a replace in place, and a repair in place. So we're asking that that study be stopped, and instead we move forward with a repair in place option. If y'all move forward with the repair in place option, there's 2 additional things that we're looking for. Number 2A is to determine the right size of the facility. So rather than assuming 7.8 or 7 MGD or whatever the number is the correct number, have the consultant that's currently doing the comparison study switch their scope of work to actually determine what the proper size is per the TCQ and the SFDU analysis done by Woodlands Water. That way, if you're going to go build a plant, you know exactly what you're building, you know why you're building it, you're not overbuilding, and you're not underbuilding. Okay. 2B is to determine a tiered repair strategy. So going back to the HDR study and the supplemental agreement that was just talked about, there was tier 1 projects, tier 2 projects, tier 3 projects, broken up into 5-year increments. We'd look to do the same thing. So we'd say with wastewater plant 1, go back to the condition assessment and determine what projects need to be done. Tier 1, 5 to 10 years worth of time. Tier 2, 10 to 15 or 5 to 10, whatever it may be, timeframe. And then that is what we'd use for the project plan, as well as for bonding needs if bonds are needed going forward. So, summarize 3 options. Move to a repair in place option. Forget the other 3 options, not to replace the plant. Right size the facility, then determine a tiered approach to repairing the facility. What we're looking at with this is that the funds that are currently being utilized are allocated to the comparison study. Since we're stopping that study, we'd use up to that same amount of funds on these 3 items. That way there's no more cash needed, no budget amendment, nothing else. It's just a scope change for the engineer. You should be able to get it all done within 6 to 9 months. Any questions?
So have we abandoned the acquisition of the land adjacent to the current facility?
We did. We abandoned that in March, when the trustees allocated those funds to be moved from land acquisition to,
Repair in place. Okay.
right. Now, that is a conversation at some point for the MUDs to come up with is, do y'all want to go ahead and still buy the land around it for future planning
Like
purposes?
for 50 years from now.
You got it.
Okay.
But currently it's not on our table at least. Any other questions?
When do we vote on this, or the trustees vote on this
I'd be looking for May if possible.
for the MUDs?
At the trustees?
The trustees.
Trust,
Okay,
yeah, since this
okay.
is a budgetary item, it's a trustees item. Any other questions?
Will the trustees be current trustees or the ones that there might be a change in May?
In May, it'd still be the current trustees. Yeah. The May MUD meetings, I think, is when the new candidates are seated.
Okay.
That said, there's been enough time for reflection, I'd appreciate your
Getting back.
direction as to how to vote on this matter. Yeah, yeah.
I think it's a good plan.
I think, yes, I
think
believe
it's a
so
very good
too.
plan.
I agree. Very good.
I think it's
my
broad enough.
Because our current MGDs are what, 3.5? I think, unless
Yeah.
there's a Harvey flood event, I understand that, but,
Correct.
so we don't need to plan on 7 MGDs.
Potentially not, but I mean, that's a longer conversation, and it also goes to what the TCQ is expecting. It also goes to what has been sold already. So we need to take all that into consideration, along with the SFGE study that was done to actually determine. I don't think it's going to be 7.8. I don't think it's going to be 5.5. My guess is somewhere between 6 and 7. So, smaller.
So we don't have to change the budget. What's the budget then? That's
The remaining,
budget going forward to repair in place? I know over the next 5 to 10 years, you think it's going to be?
that's what they're going to help us determine on item
Oh.
2B. Because when we did the condition analysis, they gave us the condition, but we never got a budgetary estimate for those items. So now we're going to ask them to go back, take that condition assessment, add dollars to it, and when it needs to be done to make basically tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. But for this study, for all this work to get done, the remaining budget's $280,000, and we're expecting $200,000 or less for the entirety of the study. But
Saving us 80,000.
correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, and thank this board for giving me appropriate direction.
So did Paul have any input?
He said yes.
Oh, yeah, he said yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would bring us to agenda item 14. General Manager Peterson.
Yes, we've heard recently back from the Corps of Engineers on status of moving forward with feasibility, and we were notified that they do not have the funding right now to complete the feasibility. So they propose to potentially put those monies in request for next year's budget, for their next year's budget. So that's something new. Also, in item B, we'll be asking the LJA to update the Texas Water Development Board on the grant and low interest loan funding that is in place, just to let them know the status of the project and updates on that as well. And then I was requested to put item C on the agenda to just potentially consider next steps, which would either be going back to some of the local entities that we've talked to before, received no's from a couple of them previously, or wait on the Corps putting it in their budget next year to complete that feasibility. Recall, going down the route of the core feasibility, if they finish that feasibility and identify that the project is worth partnering on in their mind, then we could potentially qualify for cap funding, which would ideally cover the complete gap of funding that we're in right now, which is about 10 million.
About 10 million?
The gap is,
The
yeah,
gap,
we have
about 10
about
million.
11.3
Okay.
right now between grant, low interest loan and MUD contributions. So.
Is there any reason to abort the project or just wait and see what happens? I mean, is there any expenditure of money?
No. No, when we bring in this, the lead MUD on this is 67, so we'll be bringing this same item to them tomorrow to identify direction they'd like to go.
So they really have the authority to, more so than the rest of us. Well, we're in there a little bit, right?
Oh, you're a stakeholder. You're definitely in it, Metro, you and several others. So certainly if you have interest in going in one direction or the other, I think I would like to know that just so I can share that with them for sure. So it's.
Personally, I see no advantage in stopping now since, even though it will be a wait and hold, hope springs eternal. I mean, we've got to come up with $10 million, but if the Corps happens to decide that the project is worthy for partnering, it could be, and I think the project is necessary. That's been discussed, and proven that there's good benefits for safety and for residential flooding. Mobility.
I'm glad you added C. I think we need to pursue that as soon as possible. We've got time to do it, but we shouldn't wait until a year from now to start that conversation.
We already pursued those before. So I don't
No, it
expect
was
it
on
to
there.
change.
We'll see. Hard nose or are they,
No.
are they like,
No, I don't know.
When did we do that?
One change might
When
be,
did we do that?
Last year.
okay.
Yeah, there may be opportunity for a couple of them to have some funding, but we won't bridge. I don't have
You want to wait until.
optimism that there's 10 million sitting there.
No,
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but just as a question, you would wait until you received a decision from the Corps. Because without the Corps participation, the bridges, the expenditure is way in excess of anything we could.
Unless there's something we
yeah,
weren't expecting from any one of them or all of them combined,
it
but
sounds like a
That's why I
precinct,
was suggesting let's try it again with them
especially
in
with
the
the
interim, because we can show on both sides of this. No, we couldn't get it from Corps.
It might take.
We need your help, but also we have, in many of those organizations, we have change out of people
You do, yeah.
and a lot of them. And
No,
All
because
but
Rich
one, I
Wheeler's
think.
still been commissioner last year, so this sounds like it's more appropriate to get something from the Montgomery County Commissioners, but I don't know if they said no already. I don't know why they changed their minds now.
I mean, Rudd's looking for projects and they have money. So, and that board has changed out recently. I think we ought to pursue that. If they say no, they know what it is. It shouldn't be that big of a
sure.
presentation to them. They know what it is. They know the impact of that, shutting down resource forest during flooding events. The emergency side of that's the community thing. There's your township. So and Rudd's involved in that also, where to put their money. So I think we pursue it again, and recognizing that the Corps has a delay of a year, but maybe they'll say if the Corps does, we do. We will. I don't know.
Any further direction, Dale, Donna? For Eric?
This is not the drainage, but what about the dam? Is this covered in that anywhere in here?
That was under Chris's.
That's in the maintenance report
Okay,
in your packet.
Because we had a shortfall of fixing that too, didn't we? Dan
We did
Cratchit.
receive the additional 5 million from Congress.
Oh, you did receive another 5 million from Congress?
Still a shortfall. I'll have a summary of that next month.
Okay, thank you.
The Corps of Engineers would be as far up till October, right? When their budgetary cycles.
Next. Mhm.
So we wouldn't know anything from the Corps of Engineers until fall,
Right.
I
Best
would
case.
say late
best
fall.
case scenario, yeah. So between the months that we have between now and then, maybe we could hit them again, the parties that we've already hit.
Yeah, township
And seek
budget
new-
is set in
and seek new.
August, so we
And
catch
then,
them.
And tell them that, look, maybe the Corps of Engineers will come forward with some, but it's gonna be clear until the fall. And that's, again, time's wasted.
They may have to work through their own.
Yes, that's right.
Process, give them as much time as possible.
Well, yeah, just because they get funded doesn't mean this project's gonna get funded. Because then they're gonna have their basket of projects to work on. And then, wow.
I think we need the project one way or another.
Yeah.
I'm sad that it's so doggone expensive, but that's the way it goes. It's a lot of work. Okay. Anything else on 14, General Manager Peterson? Very good. Agenda item 15, receive the attorney's reports. Call.
Are having an election, so I have nothing else for you.
Very good.
Very short report.
Okay, agenda item 16. Discuss and approve termination of financial advisory agreement between the district and Robert W. Baird Incorporated and authorize execution of notice of termination. Believe this will take 2 motions. Adam, would you like to
Sure,
tee it up and hit it as long and as far and as straight as you can?
absolutely.
Good.
After 11 and a half years with Baird, we decided to go independent. So our team of 16 will stand on its own. It is an amicable separation. There's a letter on page 69, or I think there's an extra copy up here to that effect. And in reality, Baird has seen, and I'll back up, with respect to Baird, we love Baird. It's been a great relationship. However, over the years, Baird has become the second largest purchaser of muni debt in Texas. And so the one issue with us representing all the districts is Baird as a purchaser can't buy the bonds. And so this allows Baird to competitively bid on deals that we represent as advisory. And so this, is good for both parties, but it will allow us to maintain the strict advisory side of the business and just represent special districts. And so your contract, there is a form contract in here that Brian had sent to staff just, for his review. Page 101 has a fee and expense structure that is for a typical MUD, is not for the Woodlands districts. We kept that contract the same. And so this is the Baird contract, but it is significantly different. If you look at page 5 of the Baird contract, that is the same contract. And so really the only thing that we're changing, there's 2 things, the name, and then what we're asking for is what we're calling a service fee and the amount.
Here.
101.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what
Oh,
did
no.
you just say?
So this,
That's not it, no.
yeah, if you have this little packet, so that is your form of contract, however,
It's not missing one.
you're missing it.
I have this one, it's not that one, apparently. Did you? This is what I want to do. Okay.
This one right here.
This is
Okay,
the
thanks.
2015.
Correct,
From
Yeah.
Dan.
correct. And so that is the structure, not what's on page 101. So significantly different. This has not changed since our RBC days. That remains the same. However, we don't ever anticipate you selling bonds in the near future unless something changes. But what we are asking for in lieu of that is a service fee in the amount of $5,000 to cover, meeting costs, budgetary discussions, tax rate recommendations, exemption analyses. Rather than charge you hourly, we're just looking to
It's like a $5,000 retainer a year.
correct.
Annual.
And that equates to around 14 hours.
Okay.
And so
So it's the same, except you're asking for the additional 5,000. Okay, is that on here? It's right. Is it on my sheet?
yeah, it's exhibit 2, so it's on page 101. But if you look on page 101, that is for, like I said, it's for a typical standalone district. And on page 101, it references
Right,
$10,000
I see.
because all 10, we view all 10 districts as kind of a conglomerate because we're typically meeting with staff on multiple districts at a time. We've cut that in half to $5,000.
Okay, so it's just not showing 5,000 here.
Yeah, this is just the stock contract that we had sent to Schwartz Page for their review.
Okay,
And so they reviewed it and provided it to staff for their review as well. But that is not your form contract.
The issue of refunding bonds, or does that even come into play with your services?
Yeah, I mean, we will still monitor any outstanding debt for all 10 districts and provide recommendation on refundings if and when they become available.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions for Adam?
I just have a quick question on page 95, 4B. I didn't know what the appropriateness of no boycott of Israel had to do with anything. I'm sorry, I
That is
just,
a state law.
that kind of woke me up last night after I had finished my taxes and I'm going through 125 pages of mud information and then poof.
Everything under section 4, state mandated.
Okay,
That we have to put in every single contract that is between any of the public entities.
okay. I just want to go on record. I've only mentioned Israel in this meeting about desalination plants that we might want to copy of this. See, I just didn't understand the appropriateness.
We'll boycott that technology.
I'm sorry, I'm
Now,
not,
will we?
okay.
I think it was maybe 3 or 4 sessions ago where a legislator introduced it, it passed, and so
Okay,
it's a requirement.
As I said, I'd like to do this in 2 motions just to keep things square
okay,
as we proceed forward. The first being to approve the termination of the Baird contract, the existing contract.
I make a motion to terminate that contract.
Second? I'll second it. We have a motion and a second. Further discussion on this matter? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes. Okay, now, motion to approve the proposed and modified Cedar Creek, we got the wrong file here, the wrong piece of paper and so. Cedar Creek Municipal Advisors Contract,
CCMA.
CCMA. Motion
I'll
to,
make a motion to approve the new contract with CCMA.
okay, we have a motion to approve. Second. And we have a second, okay? Further discussion on this matter? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, motions pass, thank you. So that was agenda item 16, right? Taking care of that,
Yes.
we've done that.
And 17.
17, yes,
Yes.
16 and 17.
There you go.
Which brings us to the general manager's report, agenda item 18, pages 102 to 118.
Yes, good afternoon. Turn your attention to page 104, 105. Our ditch crews have been doing some significant work between some of our subcontractors and our own crews. doing some of the work. So you can see some examples there of some work that's being done in Route 60. There's plenty more that we're doing, but just some examples there of some of the pipe work that's being done, and then some minor clearing as well.
I know that ditch. I walked past that ditch. This is great. You're getting it done before we get into the hurricane season.
Indeed.
Because, I mean, during Harvey, this backed up, but this will really help it.
Yes, for sure. Also, we ran through about 1,600 work orders over the month. So a lot of work going on throughout the woodland. That's not just Mid 60, that's overall. Wanted to point out that Marine has served for 28 years. Loves water and joint
Don't
towers.
look old.
Yeah.
Serve that long.
Somebody violated some child labor laws. Counselor, would you look into that, please?
Also included a thank you we received from a customer. We continue to receive those on a regular basis. I always like sharing those. And with that, I'll pass it on to John for communications.
I got a couple of questions. Will you leave that, Harry? On page 102, residential, Flood 60 shows 17 locations and or active projects. Residential new,
Yeah, in our mud.
is that specifically
Builds.
new builds on that many lots? I guess part of that's Area Island.
That is.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Is that the majority of it? I would think, because the 17 is a high number relative to the rest of the woodlands. I was just curious, caught my attention. Okay, that's what I assumed, is it? And then, so it's, I could be wrong because I'm not looking at, on the March, so page 108, March 26 call log. Seems like the billing department got a lot of calls. Is that just normal this time of year? I didn't go back and look at all the other months.
Actually goes up in the summer when people start watering the lawns a little heavier and in the spring when they turn their irrigation systems back on and don't realize that
The bill jumped and
more water equals more bill.
oh, fair enough. Okay.
Their timer's set for every day. Like one of my neighbors that I knocked on the door. You know that you're watering your driveway every day. He goes, number one, he was tying, and then it was all out of alignment. It wasn't even in his yard.
That's all I had, sorry. Thanks.
So I told him, I said, I don't want to hear you complaining at the beginning of the meetings.
So is does John handle page 115?
Yes.
Okay, I'll wait.
Yeah. Talk about it right now. Tell your neighbor about the wise guys.
Yeah, really.
Oh, I'm working on that. It's gonna be a long effort.
Process. Yeah, page 114 starts your communications report. I really wanted to zero in on page 115 today, which are the results of our 2026 annual survey. So bringing forth how we scored in 26, but also looking at trends since we started surveying back in 22, which is when we implemented the strategic plans. Looking at those trends over time is really important as well. You'll note here that not every question has data from every year. That's because we didn't have an apples to apples question. We have adjusted questions over time. So when there isn't a direct comparison, we've left that year out. That's why you're seeing some missing years sprinkled in there. And then one other note on our methodology, we feel we did a much better job at capturing a representative sample of the community than we have in the past by doing a number of things to go outside our normal communication stream. So that means that we talked to a lot of folks, or reached a lot of folks through the survey that we don't reach as much through our other mechanisms. In so doing, we thought that would dampen knowledge and opinion levels because they're not getting information from us as regularly. I'm encouraged to say that we still saw a very positive report. So I just want to note that. So let's look at some of the highlights here on the positive side. Folks that are familiar with Woodlands Water, we've increased 31% from 2022. We're at over 80% this year. Favorable opinions on Woodlands Water and MUDS both have risen significantly since 22. We're up 44% on favorability for Woodlands Water and up 64% on MUDS. A nice 60+% number on folks that know where the drinking water comes from. We want to get that a lot higher, but that's almost a 50% increase since 2022. When we look at how satisfied folks are, folks that rated themselves very satisfied or satisfied with customer service, 86.2%. Really impressive number there. Value for the services they receive, 78.3%. That's up 21% from last year. And then satisfaction with the communications, very satisfied or satisfied, was north of 80% there. We do have areas to work on, and this highlights a couple. We noticed a real dearth of understanding of the various roles and responsibilities, who does what between the partners. So work to do there. Exemplifying that, 37.5% said they did not know that the SRA was our wholesale water provider. We also have a lot of room to grow as far as infrastructure renewal campaign efforts go. Folks that said they were very or somewhat aware, 35%. And those stating they were not aware at all, 36%. So we will continue to push those efforts, of course. Highly encourage you to look at the full survey. So this is just a portion of that. We asked 26 questions in all, plus another 3 optional on demographics. You can find that full report with all those questions and the analyses by scanning that QR code. And if you do that and you have any questions, please let me know. Any questions now?
Yes. It's probably in the full report, but how many responses did we get?
841.
800?
Yeah, and it's just on par with what we've done our previous ones. The renewal, last year we did more of a renewal heavy survey, and that actually came in around 400 folks. But the previous years before that, we were right around this level, right around 900, 800, 900, which is more than enough to get a statistically valid sample.
Thanks.
And the response trended to be older and longer tenured homeowners. All right, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Okay, we don't need any to recess to close session. So it brings us to agenda item 22. Do we have any matters for placement on future agendas? Dale, do you have anything, Donna? We can think of? Didn't we?
Well, there'll be,
Oh, sorry. Did we do pardon me, I'm ahead of myself. Receive the trustees report. Thank you, Paul. General Manager Peterson.
I think everything that was discussed in the trustees meeting we've talked here today, other than there was a discussion about a couple MUDs, 1 and 6, possibly 36, that are interested in consolidation of themselves. As you recall, MUD 2 and 40 previously consolidated to create MUD 1, and MUD 1 and MUD 6 have some interest in continuing that. So there was a little bit of discussion on that. And everything else from the trustee meeting we've talked about today and the other items.
Was there any discussion? It looks like those MUDs are going to progress and go down a path of looking at financials and the impact of
They're
that.
currently doing that right now, looking at the financials and the pros cons.
Was there any discussion about sharing those results with the rest of the MUDs, i.e. MUD 60, for instance? We're not part of that, but I think we could all learn from that from the standpoint of the financials combining and what they see and learn from it.
Yeah, I think once it's presented in a public meeting, it'll be open. We can share it with everyone.
Yeah.
did that dovetail where parts of MUD 60 are kind of close to That's 1 and 6.
No, it really has nothing to do with geographic location. It has more to do with kind of each district's financial position, outstanding debt, current tax rates, things like that.
So it's not a boundary issue
The boundaries
besides.
will change within the districts that are contemplating this. If it's approved, it'll have to go before the voters for approval. And if it were approved, then yes, the existing districts that are being voted on would join as one geographically, and then have similar financial, structure. But, the difficulty in consolidation amongst all of the districts is the band of differences, particularly in the tax rates. And so, for instance, MUD 1 and MUD 6 are within 0.045 in tax rate. So, whereas y'all's tax rate and several of the others are higher. And so there'd be a bigger gap to get other districts in on that. So there'd be kind of winners and losers because you're going to have to, set those tax rates to the level that, pays the bills for each of those districts. And obviously some districts are larger, some districts are newer and have different tax structures because of that.
Yeah, we touch almost every mud, so you couldn't use geographic as a basis for it. So,
Be nice if that was it, but that's not, there's more to it.
you'd have to reconfigure a lot though, doing that, but, all right.
Very good. Now we can go to agenda item number 22. Anything, Dale, you said no a minute ago. Donna, future meetings?
Well, I guess in the May meeting, we induct the new candidates, or I guess that should be on the agenda.
Sure, that would.
Yeah, I will take care of all those items to canvass the election, seat the new directors, identify positions, trustee decisions, things like that. That'll all be on me.
Do we elect new
Yes, you do.
positions in May?
New officers. Sure do. Paul, anything? Nope. Donna, that was it. Very good.
Thank you.
Hearing nothing else, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.